Hi, it's come to my attention that a number of you younger folks are considering volunteering with ISIS in the Mideast to kill the infidels. And like any trip that you might undertake, it's wise to know a little about where you're going and what are the conditions. If you're going to visit New York, you want to know a little about New York, like Manhattan, the street layout. If you're going to Italy, you want to know about the foods, the good places to go and visit, the historical sites. And so it is when you go into the desert. You should know a little about it. So I want to cover a couple of points, and then I want to suggest a test that you take. If you pass the test comfortably, you'd probably be a good candidate to join ISIS. So let's get started. First off, you all know what this is. You've seen your mother carry a bale of it in, maybe once a week if you had a big family, once a month if you had a small one. It's essential. We've all grown up with it. I personally go without meat for a day or two, but I can't go without toilet paper for even one day. So, what happens in the desert? Well, first off, if you got a gun, you got bullets, you got food, and you have to have water, there's not really a lot of room for toilet paper. It's kind of bulky. It doesn't weigh much, so it wouldn't be hard to carry, but it's bulky, and so you have to do without. Now, the technique that I've come to learn is what we call the scoop and scrape, which is a way of keeping yourself clean so that you don't get a rash and a burning sensation, because you have to stay clean. Let's start from the beginning. First, you pick a hand that you want to use. The good news is, once you do it a couple of times, you'll get a sort of a brown crust under your fingernails, and so it'll act as kind of an indicator so that when you go to reach for food, you know which hand to actually use. This is very important. Also, when you shake hands with somebody, you really kind of want to use what we'll call the clean hand. So, the first thing you want to learn when you go to the desert is how to use the scoop and scrape. That's number one. My second concern has to do with water. And in order to bring this home more vividly, there isn't much water in the desert. We all know that. But I have a couple of experts I'd like to kind of quote. Anthony Bourdain is a fellow that has a show called Parts Unknown. And in this show, he travels to backwoods and areas of the world where most people never go. And he eats things that I wouldn't touch with a glove on. This is a very brave man. And he was talking about his new shows. And one of the things he said that was very interesting was that if he were going to do a show one week in a very backwoodsy place with no toilets and limited running water, that the following week he would be certain to do a show in an area with good ceramic European-style flush toilets and ample shower water for hot showers. Kind of lets you know that even the tough guys have a problem with a lack of water and what we call basic cleanliness. The second guy is a Russian, and he had a great comedy act. His name was Yakov Smirnoff. And one joke he told, which I thought was very telling, he said, Russian or American girls have one thing over Russian girls: a shower. There again, a man who's been all over, in different environments and different cultures, is bringing us back to cleanliness and water. Now, we all know that the scent of the opposite sex can be very appealing. You smell a woman's hair, or a man comes in from working in the yard and he has some sweat on his body, and a woman says, "Ugh, just the smell of that," okay? But that's not what we're talking about here. Because when that lovely perspiration dries, and then you perspire again the next day, and then the next day, bacteria builds up. So what you're now smelling is not that sensuous scent of the individual, but basic bacteria, awful, what they're getting rid of. In other words, you're smelling bacteria, and it's foul. And then when you combine it with the scoop and scrape problem, you've got some really smelly actors. And you should know this before you go into the desert. Because what can be something that's just a little irritant, after a couple of weeks or months, can become rashes, incredible acne, just smells. You can't stand next to people. And when you've been raised in a European or North American environment, and then you go into these environments, let's just say culture shock is the least of your worries. So let's get on with the test. What do you say? Here's what I'm suggesting. I want you to go 2 weeks without taking a shower, without using water at all except to drink, and maybe wash one hand. You also can't use toilet paper. And you really can't change your clothes or your underwear, because you really want to get the flavor of what you're going into. You want to experience it. Then when you get there and it happens, you're okay with it. Don't forget, if you go there and then you tell ISIS, I don't like it here, I want to go home, they kill you. And I don't think that's an end to which you would strive, my opinion. So, go 2 weeks. Now, if you're a young lady and you're experimenting sexually, or a young man and you're starting out, you really should ask your partner also to do the 2-week test. You don't have to tell her why. You don't have to admit you're going overseas. Just say, let's not bathe or change our, and let's just see if we really, really love each other. If you can last for 2 weeks with the scoop and scrape. Now, on that scoop and scrape, there's no cheating, no going into the woods and cleaning your hand with leaves, and no using a rag or something. No. You just wipe it on the ground or on a rock, just like you'll do in the desert. You've got to be fair, because you really do want the results that you're going to be getting when you get there. Otherwise, what good is the test? I mean, it would be like taking a French test when you speak German. I mean, it wouldn't work. You've got to be honest and straightforward. And I wish you good luck. I think it's wonderful that you're making up with your effort for the lack of our leadership in the European and North American continents, where our leaders do not challenge young people. They ignore them. And I think this is a good wake-up call for all of us. So I applaud you. Good luck. And be honest with the test now.